Excellent.
Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pedro as creative tech at Adafruit. Every week we're here to share 3D printer projects featuring electronics from Adafruit. Sorry, your hair is...
I know, it's so fun. It's the Lady Loki crown tiara thing. Hello, everybody. We're hanging out in the Discord chat room. This is a live show.
If you haven't realized.
And you can... what happened?
Giving shout outs to everybody hanging out in all the Discord. You can join the chat over at discord.gg/Adafruit. Good morning to everybody hanging out. Andy Calloway, Susan,
Hi.
Rosin, A Cup of Coffee, Jim Hendrickson, Fetty2, and Mr. Certainly hanging out in all the chat rooms. We're also on Twitch and Facebook Live.
Thank you for joining us. You can drop us comments and questions throughout the show in the live broadcast chat room. If you want to get an invite code to Discord, the link, the URL is discord.gg/Adafruit. All right, I'm ready to pay some bills and get started with my wacky haircut.
I cannot look at your hair.
I know, it's fun. Don't look at me.
What happened?
I need a hat. Go give me that hat. By the way, we'll have a Shop Talk segment where we're talking about the new hardware we're running. Thank you.
Appropriate hat.
So hilarious. Right there. So let's go ahead and pay some bills. We walk through the morning housekeeping. Here we go. If you head over to the website, adafruit.com/free, you can see all the deals that are going on this week and throughout the weeks. So let's jump into the tiers. First one, if you spend $99 or more with Adafruit in your order, you'll get a free PermaProto half-size breadboard. That's that lovely PCB that you can permanently attach components to. For orders that are $149 or more, you get the half-size PermaProto plus a randomly selected Stemma QT breakout. If you have an account with Adafruit, it's free to do so. We make sure you don't get the same Stemma QT board twice. For orders that are $200 or more, you get that free Stemma QT breakout, the PermaProto half-size breadboard, and free UPS ground shipping for the continental US only. For orders that are $299 or more, you get all that stuff I just said plus a Circuit Playground Express, one of the flagship products of Adafruit. Really awesome way to get started with CircuitPython or Arduino and every type of programming language, because it supports all these other programming languages I don't know about. You can get as many freebies as you want, and for more details, just go to adafruit.com/free. All right, so that's the free segment. All right, Adafruit Jobs Board. If you are an employer or a maker looking to get employed, there are some gigs out there. You go to jobs.adafruit.com. You can see all the jobs this month, July. We're in July. There's a couple of new positions. Check them out if you are interested. We got a research technician, a full-time position in the Rockville, MD area. Content and programs lead for Badger Bots Robotics Corporation. And we have an electrical engineer, PCB designer for the Michigan area, Detroit, or anywhere, full-time. So check those out. Again, if you are an employee looking to find some maker skills, you got a project you want somebody to help you with, you can post that up here. It's free to do so on both sides. So check it out. That's jobs.adafruit.com. All right, time for newsletters. The once-a-week newsletter is the product focus newsletter. It happens once a week because we get products in the store once a week. So go to adafruit.com/newsletter for that one. We call it the new newsletter. And then for daily newsletter, we had to make a standalone website. It's called adafruitdaily.com. It's one of those non-spammy things where you have to opt in and pick the things that you want. The categories in question are Maker Business, Biohacking, IoT Monthly, CircuitPython, which is Python on hardware, 3D printing, and there's some other categories. So check them out. There's lots of fun daily content that can get posted to your inbox or wherever you like. What else? The CircuitPython meeting happened on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can join in and listen in on the core devs in the community and what they're working on CircuitPython. It's every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check out the archive that's posted shortly after the 2 p.m. slot. So you can subscribe to it on whatever podcast service you might like and enjoy. Cool. I'm going to head back over to Discord as our housekeeping has now been swept and we are clean. I'm wearing a nice hat. No more distractions. What if that helped flatten it out? No, it's still there.
Cup of Tea says it's a combing retraction setting.
Yeah, I need to turn on ironing.
Good morning,
Yeah, iron
Samuel. Good morning. Also, I see jump in just now into Wester. Kinger North. Thank y'all for joining this morning. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's lovely project, super useful for your MacroPad. If you're so lucky enough to pick one up, should be more coming out in stock soon.
That's right.
Watch out for the coupon codes coming out so you can get a discount on picking one up and trying it out.
Yeah, so there is our 3D printed stand for the MacroPad. It's this funky print and place design that has 2 hinges here. It's got a hinge for this base plate. It's got this little kickstand, and you can have it flat, or you can have it this way, or you can prop it up, and there's these little dimples. Those dimples match up with the screw heads so that you can keep that in place, and it gets elevated at about 20 degrees. Now, I have CircuitPython running on here. You can run CircuitPython or Arduino, but we have some nice demo code from Phil B. He's got a learn guide on how to create some hotkey shortcuts. So this is a really, really fun way to get started. You can use the rotary encoder to navigate between the different config files. The config files themselves, you can add as many as you want or have 1 or 2, but it's cool that you can use the rotary encoder to change up the different programs. So you have a label up here. It tells you what application it is, and you have full control over the labeling and the colors of the keys as well. So for this demo, I'm going to be using the web browser Safari for the Mac. I have here, it's already kind of pre-populated, so I'll probably change one and kind of do a little demo of it in action. So I have here a special thing going on here where it's, so if I want to change up my tabs, you can get an idea of this working in action here. So I'm just switching up my tabs. And one of the things I like to do is not really refresh pages, but like close tabs. So I want to do a live demo where I change up some of the code, really the config file in Moo. But we'll see what if that worked. That worked, right? Like all this tab switching? I don't know. I hope it worked. Because I can't like monitor it. But anyway, we have a learn guide in the works. It's in moderation right now. But if you want to download the file, we have it on Thingiverse. And I'll throw it up on other places like Prusa Printers and Colts 3D. But for now, you can get this right now off of our Thingiverse page. I have a link. We'll throw a link, rather, in the descriptions. But yeah, pretty straightforward. You got an STL file, or if you want the original Fusion 360 file, I have that. I also have some step files available, and of course, a 3D model of the MacroPad kit, which includes just about everything that you get with the starter kit. So the key caps, the key plate, the bottom plate, and even the screws. So that's cool. And of course, the rotary encoder and OLED display and NeoPixels and all the capacitors and all that stuff, including the sockets and everything, is in that 3D model. Speaking of which, we have a 3D model here of it. This is the bare kit. I should have updated this to be the full kit. But there you go. You can go to our GitHub repo and get a 3D model of it if you want to start making custom enclosures and brackets for your MacroPad. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If we want to look at like assembly, it's really simple. We got 4 machine screws here that get fastened into, rather through the bottom cover, so that you can still use that bottom cover. But you don't need to if you don't want the bottom cover. If you have just the bare like this. Oh, I hit again one of the key. You gotta be careful with these key commands, man. Here we go. It just created a new thing in Wirecast. So yeah, you can either use the bottom plate or not. So it's up to you if you want to use that or not. Yeah. So that's how I got it going on there. All right. Let's see. What else can we do? Do we do the demo code stuff next?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna fire up Moo. Let me run through where you can get the code. Oh man, I'm in the back end. Whoa. Let me get out of here. All right, so here is the learn guide. It's from Phil B. Shout out to Paint Your Dragon, Phil B. He created this demo code here, and it'll walk you through setting up CircuitPython. So if you got the kind of the first batch of, oh, let me show my screen. Thanks for telling me. So yeah, this is the learn guide. Let me just do everything I just did again. So if you head over to learn.adafruit.com, go to New Guides, click on View All. You want to click on View All, and then it'll show up right here, or you can search for it in the search box here. But Phil B has it here, the MacroPad hotkeys. You can see there's a couple other guides here that are in the works. You got a desk calculator from Jeb Pepler. So the MacroPad hotkeys, run through the Learn Guide kind of quick. Yeah, all the parts. CircuitPython, this will walk you through installing CircuitPython. If you got an early batch, you'll need to do it this way, where you hold down the rotary encoder, and then I guess we could do that live. Let's do it live, shall we? Let me kind of go into bootloader mode. You want to hold down the encoder button, and then press this once, and then it will. You want to hold it down until the USB drive shows up as RPi2, and then you can let go. And once you let go, you can now drag and drop the UF2 file. Hit cancel. Okay, we're still streaming, right?
Yep.
It is super, super risky because when I did that rotary encoder, it said, do you want to stop the stream and kill Wirecast? And I'm like, cancel. All right, so now I'll show you my desktop. Somewhat of a desktop. Here we go, full screen. So in my desktop, I got this new RPi drive, and you'll want to download the UF2 file from the Learn Guide. So you can come here, click on this green button. I opened it in a new tab. You want to grab the latest version of CircuitPython, Alpha 4. In the time of this recording, that's the latest version of CircuitPython, but you'll definitely want to get the Alpha 4. It's pretty much, it has everything. It even says right here, this is the latest unstable release, but it'll work with the MacroPad, so that's why we got it out as quick as we could. But yeah, so once I got that going, I can now search for it in my downloads folder and just drag and drop it into this thing here. So let me go to my downloads folder if I can find it. There's the UF2. I verify it's the MacroPad RP2040. It is version 7, alpha 4.uf2. Perfect. So I'm just going to drop that onto the drive here, and it'll start to copy it over and automatically flash the firmware. While it's doing that, we'll take a look at the thing here. It'll start doing some stuff, hopefully. There it goes. There you go. You get an indicator, and there's CircuitPython reinstalled. And the beauty of CircuitPython and kind of how it is that it didn't actually erase any of the libraries or code. It stayed on there, so that's pretty cool. So if you're switching between Arduino and CircuitPython, your CircuitPython files will most likely stay in place. Yeah, so there's a quick demo of just installing CircuitPython. And then the demo code, even easier, if we head on over back to the Learn Guide, go to Project Code, there is a download button here, download Project Bundle. If you click on that, it'll download all the libraries and dependencies. But not right now because it's broken, sorry. I got egg on my face here. I don't know why it didn't work.
It didn't work?
Nothing, it worked just fine. I don't know. Well, we'll have to ask the devs what's going on. But normally you click on download project bundle and it downloads the
It's funny because it worked for the video.
Yeah, I know. But they, that was yesterday. It's today. But hey, there you go. You can get all the code. There's another way around that, right? So if you scroll down at the bottom here, at the bottom of the code embed, there's a View on GitHub button. So you can click that, and hopefully that works too. That will show you the raw code here. You can download the code and kind of do the manual download of the libraries, I guess, from the library bundle. But bear with us, folks. I don't know why this is a live show, right? So we'll report a bug, but normally the project download bundle works really good. So once we have that, you can just drag and drop your code file and all the libraries into the CircuitPy drive, which is not showing up on my screen. Here it is, CircuitPy drive. So here's what it looks like. Let me make that bigger. So we got our code output that tells us what version of CircuitPython we're running and the chip. It's the RP2040. Here's the code. You can preview that. Here's all the libraries that you'll want. So when I downloaded this from the project bundle, it gave me all of these libraries, which is great. And then the folder macros is where your config files are. So here's one for Illustrator, Photoshop, and Safari. These are kind of the default ones that are included as a part of the guide. So what I wanted to do is now hop on over to the Moo Editor, which is our preferred Python editor. There's a new version of it. Check it out, by the way. It runs really good on the M1 Mac here. And I want to, so I'm going to open up the Mac Safari one, and I just want to change this real quick. So the one I want to change was the refresh. So the way it works is like kind of this first value here is a hex color, right? So if you wanted white, there's a couple of online tools that you can use, right? So if I wanted like a color editor, I think there is one as a part of Google, right? Color picker. I think they have a native one. Yeah, so you can use this color picker from Google. Let's say I want a purple color. I can take the hex value here and then paste that into Moo Editor here. You want to make sure that you leave the X, 0x there. It's just these 6 values, 6 numbers / letters that you want to change. So I want to change it to purple. There's my purple value. And then the label, I want it to call like, instead of putting close tab, I'm just going to put X tab, because that lets me know that I want to close it. And then the key command for that, the key code is to hold down the command key on a Mac, Control on Windows. And then instead of R for refresh, I think it's W for closing window. And you can reference the other ones to see if you want like something like this piece here will, it'll make a new tab, Command N, and it'll throw in this string of text in that new window. So it'll automatically do all that like in one step, in one key press, which is pretty cool. So you can change up these if you want to do a different, more layered kind of hotkey is these right here. But I'm doing a pretty simple one where it's just 2. And if you wanted something like it's just a single thing, I think you could just delete these things here in the brackets and just leave one key code. But yeah, I got my X tab, I got my color, and I have also updated the key command itself. So I'll hit save, and then on my overhead here, we should be able to see the update reflected when I switch to the right menu. It's under Safari. There it is. I have my X tab now. So that's going to be the 1, 2, 3rd button down, which is that purple color, right? Cool. So now if I go over, I think it was this one. No, it was like, yeah, let me see if this works. So I'll close this tab now. Will it close? Yay, it closed. And I can close this one too, right? Cool. And then I can tab between them. So I'm working on creating a custom one for Fusion 360 because I use that a lot, and maybe one for EagleCAD too. But so far, this is working pretty good. Like updating it for like simple stuff. So that's a quick look at the hotkeys demo code from Phil B. Let's see, and we'll head back over to the Discord here.
Yeah, so Melissa has filed reported the issue with the devs, so that should be fixed momentarily.
Cool. Thanks, Melissa.
And then Avro is saying, where was the MacroPad back in the day with Mortal Kombat Fatality Days?
Yeah, that's a really cool use of it. Yeah, key combos for games and stuff would be really excellent.
Yeah,
there's something in the works where you ever play Minecraft.
JP's doing one.
There's a lot of commands in the terminal that you need to. Like if you want to make a command block, you have to type all this stuff out. So instead of hitting the up key, you can have it pre-programmed and just maybe have like a Minecraft, command block generator here. That'd be really cool.
And then Stuart's asking about the speed of the M1. We'll have a whole segment on that a little bit later in the show. Yeah.
Well, we'll take a look at the bench right now. Let's go ahead and look at the model in Fusion 360. So I'll jump into Fusion 360 and just kind of chat a little bit about the design, how I came up with it and stuff. It's all driven with like a couple sketches, really. So this is kind of the main sketch for it. It's driven with a couple of user parameters. So we'll kind of walk through those now and kind of show how this works. So Fusion 360 has these joints, and it allows you to kind of simulate and tie different components together. So in this case, I'm using a joint here where that pivot point is. I'm using a joint to attach the MacroPad itself to this piece here. And then I have another joint here for the actual kickstand, and it gives you a good look at, how much degrees the joint is driven at. So by default, I had it set up like this, and then you can drive the joint to place it where you want, like that. So some of the user parameters I have set up is the thickness of the bars. So if I wanted some thicker bars, let's see what happens. We'll make this 12. So that thickens up the bars. And now you can start to see that the design with the joints need to get updated a little bit. So one of the ways I was doing it is, I'm trying to remember because it's been a minute. I think, let me open up the sketch just to show kind of how this is going. This is more so of a demo for the M1 Mac, not a real labor layer, so don't expect this a super solid labor layer right now. It's more of like,
let's see the performance.
Let's see the performance of the Mac.
Around.
Am I dropping any frames? So far, I think I'm okay.
So rotating around object-heavy project while streaming and recording.
And changing things on the fly. So this handle offset, is that where I want to change it? No, let me take a look at this sketch as well. I'm totally doing a labor layer on this because I need to really, that's how I learn when I do a labor layer. That proves that I have learned what I've done. And for now, I'm still like, what is the relationship between these two? I think this one, bump. Is it bump, really? I guess it is bump. What about the
things are always named funny when you're like in a rush.
Yeah, you don't know exactly what you're going to change yet, so you go back in and you kind of massage it until it works. Bar width, bar thickness. What is the handle offset? Let me change that. Oh no. Yeah, so that button here, the handle offset, gives me the length of the handle. So you can see here as I start to change it, it's getting closer and closer. So if I wanted less of an angle here, now I can drop this joint from 20 to something else. So I can right-click on it and say drive joint. Sometimes you can get access to it by clicking on it. This time around, here we go, drive joint. And instead of 20, I can drop it down a little bit. Yeah, and then you'll start to see how maybe the surfaces aren't as flush, so you have to kind of massage them. But that's the idea, is that you can play around with those user parameters to get a desired angle. I definitely want to go back in here and see if I can make it so that the angle is being driven with the length of the handle so that so you don't have to keep in there and fudging the values. But that's the idea of it. And what is another one I can change here? The bar width. This probably will break it. Let me try that. No, it seems to work. That's cool. So you can see how the handle is kind of being driven as well, like the placement of it. Right? It's like not intersecting itself, so that's really nice. Yeah. So that's just a quick look at the design. It's a little bit messy, I must say. But hey, that's what it is, right? You can see the mess in real time. Yeah, so that is a quick look at Fusion 360 Live on this M1 iMac. Is that okay?
Yay.
Yeah, it worked. It didn't crash. I don't know if the frames dropped at all, but
We'll see back in the playback.
Yeah, we'll see on the playback. I need to set up my key commands for Wirecast. It's driving me nuts.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right.
Page
so
posted.
all of the files I posted, like the STL, so you can download those, and the CAD file link on GitHub, so you can grab all that before the Learn guide for this goes live. Should be later today. It's only a 2-pager, so shouldn't be too much to review.
Yeah, we'll see. And you can get the file now off Thingiverse if you just want that.
Yep, I posted the direct link to the Thingiverse file, so you can grab just the STLs for that, or if you want the CAD source for that, the Fusion 360 link that lets you download in any format that you want. If you want to use KiCad or SketchUp or whatever.
Tinkercad. Space mouse, yes. Yeah. All of the rotations and orbits that you witnessed is all done with this beauty, the 3D Connect Space Mouse. It's my favorite 3D rotator.
Yeah, so Gareth on Twitch is saying that, yeah, the M1 machines are more powerful than I expected.
Yeah,
Currently running the M1 Air, and it's silly good. That was my exact thought. Silly good.
Well, this is great. I'm really gonna be doing live layer by layers from going forward. Like it works. That was why I didn't do it before, is because it slowed down. Our audio would go out of sync. Is our audio out of sync now? I don't know, but we'll know in a minute. After the show, I suppose.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into what are we prototyping.
All right, what are we prototyping this week?
We continue on with MacroPad stuff.
That's right.
So Lamar wanted to have some Braille Key Caps. So these are a nice set of Braille Key Caps. I have all the important things like, you know, the media control, play, volume up, volume down, page, tab, speak. Like we want the speak command to be on there. And I'm just mirroring some of these bumpy like stickers that you can get on Amazon. Right. So I designed these first before this came in, and yay, luckily all of the sizing and the spacing for the bumps is dead on.
It's tough to see because these are transparent, so let's see if we can get some angles at them.
I can get some angle on that.
These are, you know, injection molded probably. But,
yeah. I think these are printed with, I think it's like stamped on, like you know when you get an emboss.
Maybe it's even vacuum
I think an
formed.
emboss.
Okay.
But it's pretty much copying that exact same layout for most of the keys, because a lot of them I had to find on Google to find out, like, you know, what do they use for play? What do they use for a tab?
Interesting, yeah. You can see all of these. These are really keypad stuff here specific. Print screen, lock screen, pause, pay.
Yeah, and I like a lot of the accessibility stuff, unfortunately, that's like really crummy images or like non-descriptive stuff. It looks, you know, super sketchy, so really good for Lamar wanting to have, you know, a dedicated, you know, trusted source that you can download these and have all that for. So this is what we'll be working on next week. And the other accessibility part of this is that there is a speaker on the back, so it does really nice tone generation. Dan Halbert is working on some WAV and MP3 playback, so you should be able to do audio effects, so you can turn this into like a soundboard. Yeah. So the thought is when you're visually impaired, or if you want to learn Braille, when you hit the button, it'll generate a tone, and you'll associate that tone, editable too, to whatever key that you want to map that to, or it'll play back the audio eventually as a 7.0 gets finalized and all those audio playback issues get ironed out. Each one of these can be, you know, saying, you know, you hit home or tab.
Yeah, it's super customizable that way. So you can have whatever audio, or you use your own voice, you know, to it, or someone else's voice. Yeah,
so I just wanted to take a look at the way that we did the caps for this. Of course, we'll do a whole layer by layer and all that for it. I am using the circular stem for this, and these work on Cherry MX compatible.
Get a little bit closer.
I don't know. Do we have the other one that you designed where it works as a like a rectangle too as well? So many shapes work for that, and it works pretty good. There was just like one little piece of support material that was on the bottom of the stem, and they came out pretty good.
Nice, yeah.
Same thing with the, I think the only thing I did for the resolution was just have it do adaptive layers, so it's doing like a 1.5 microns up to 0.2 for the layer height. It's just a little bit more better view of what it looks like.
Of the filament really.
Yeah, the only reason this is all translucent is, of course, to have the lights shine through, which wouldn't make any sense if you're visually impaired. So, I mean, it would work if you have, you know, just not like completely blind, but you should be able to, like, to see which key is lighting up. So it still kind of works for that. Yeah. So it's one of the things we're working on. Nice set of Braille key caps that you can print. Excellent. The other thing we're prototyping is, this will be a little bit more later, just updated Lego snap fit little holders for the Trinkey 2040, as well as the Stemma sensors. So what we did here is just add these little snaps on here that grab on to the sensor, just to have it on a Lego base plate if you don't want to use like a rough board, or if you just don't want them all over your desk. It's a nice little tidy way to test out your sensors or have a nice little project that is nice and compact. a couple weeks before, we did show that these are stackable, so you can have like a giant, like Big Mac looking stack of sensors.
It's a little bit ridiculous. And this works out better because it's all flat and you can see exactly what's there. There's no guessing game on what's stacked in there.
And it works, of course, with any Lego brick. And this just plugs directly into your computer. And since they're all so light, it shouldn't bend your USB port.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I don't have on here is that little USB shell that you can 3D print away just to stabilize.
Just to show it in the photo.
So we'll just release that in the coming weeks. Nice little simple way to organize your desktop projects.
Yay. Cool.
And I think that's what we got for prototyping so far. I think you got another one, but it's not ready to show off yet. Super cool.
Yeah.
Media streaming coming.
All right. I guess we'll jump into shop talk real quick. Talk about the iMac, I guess.
Yeah, some people are asking, how is it for games? I can tell you right now, developing games. I don't know about playing, but developing games using Unity and using Maya and doing like, you know, global illumination and doing like nice renders.
Yeah, it's probably pretty good.
You're not in the gaming channel, you're watching a production show, so that it works very well for producing games.
Yeah, I think so. I don't produce games, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it runs Maya very well. So
yeah, you got
using
Maya
Unity.
Right, yeah. Cool.
Yes, it works for making games.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's look at I guess an unboxing of it. Is that what we want to do?
Yeah.
All right. So real quick here. This is us unboxing it, and I don't know. We'll just walk through it.
I thought this would be a lot more lighter than it is. It's pretty heavy, and what's funny is that it was the box that's so heavy. And I really like the attention to detail. You don't really need it on an unboxing, but they have these nice little handles on here. The way this opens up, it's pretty nice. Again, packaging does not matter. The performance of the Mac. Neither does these cool rubber feet. They matched it to the purple that's on there. Keyboard's pretty cool. I like the clickiness of it. Not like a Cherry MX, of course. The travel is nice travel on it. And the customized braided cables are so nice. I wish they sold these separately. All USB-C on the back. Of course, it'll adapt to anything you want. You had some issues with the way how big the Apple logo is on the back. And look how thin it is compared like to the old iMac, which this is a really old one, the one that we just replaced it for. It was the 2015, I believe. So we definitely noticed the difference in terms of just navigating in the Finder. Nice little magnetic plug. I don't know if that's super good or not, like if one of the robot vacuums rips that off.
So is it easy to pull it out?
I think it is. You gotta tug it, but you know, I don't know if you should have put that on the laptop, not on a freaking desktop. Okay. And like you were saying before, just navigating around everything inside of Fusion while things are recording, while you have like exports and renders going. It's buttery smooth. Okay. This is a completely maxed out iMac, so it's got all the RAM, all the 2 terabyte or whatever.
A lot. 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah. So it's the fully decked out one, and it works.
It's not really the RAM. That's like it's really the M1 silicon that's making it awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
So definitely recommended. I think I've been running the M1 MacBook Pro for when did they get me this? Beginning of the year, sometime somewhere. And it works perfect, even with that tiny little screen. I'm absolutely in love with it. The battery like never dies on it. Wow. So performance-wise, it is freaking awesome. So good. We're gonna get more for the rest of the family too. We'll get more iMacs and little MacBook Air as well. It's that good. Yeah, they did an excellent job.
Cool. Yeah, lots of colors.
Yeah. Fusion.
Different colors. To choose from.
Doing color correction on the fly,
like
no drop frames, no rendering required when you're editing the video, and this is 4K video with like tons of effects on it, color correction, like alpha channel, like separated out to do the color correction on it.
Question from Stuart: so 16 gigs is good for 3D apps? Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I'm doing a look here. Yep, 16 gigs M1. There really isn't. There's
I think
no
that's the max you can do
speed.
As well.
You literally just say, I want the M1 iMac. I think 16 gigs is default. You can't upgrade it or go lower.
No, I think you have to look on it. But we got the whatever was the max.
I think the max thing we could do was just storage.
I think it's the RAM and the storage.
Really? Okay, so I guess maybe go with 16 gigs instead of the 8 gig if that is an option. I'm not sure, but that is our specs. 16 gig. M1.
And then Mr. Certainly
2
on
terabytes.
Twitch or on Discord is saying that his i7 16 gig RAM dedicated GPU. The integrated GPU beats out that machine, the M1. Yeah, hands down.
I wonder if we'll get another speed boost with, oh gosh, what is the predecessor to Big Sur? I don't know. I remember the name. Monterey. Okay, Monterey.
I can't wait for that, just so I can grab my cursor over.
Yeah, that'd be really great.
Move it over to your computer and help manage
switch
the
between
show.
Stuff, that'd be super helpful. Cool. All right. Well, let's look at Shop Talk. I mean, it's an iMac.
It's more of a, hey, this works very well for all the things that we do here. So remodeling, video
for this
production,
is great. Yeah, the streaming and doing a 360 Fusion.
Doing motion graphics in the background while you're rendering in Premiere.
Yeah, that actually worked out really well. When it comes to software support, I felt like, oh no, this isn't going to work. Everything
works.
Everything works.
Insane.
Yeah, everything opens and works well, and you can't quite tell if you're in Rosetta or a native app. It just kind of works and works really fast. Yeah,
all the Adobe stuff there's all betas for the M1, and those all work very well. Cool. Like I was saying before, I'm like rendering out of After Effects while I'm rendering in Premiere, while I'm in Fusion and doing an export in that, and everything is just buttery smooth. It's very nice.
Yeah,
I think that's all we got for that. Just a nice stamp of approval for doing everything
I'm
you see
super
us doing.
psyched to be able to do more Fusion stuff live. That might become a thing now where I can do live Fusion stuff, just to kind of chat, like, here's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Here's this kind of idea.
Couldn't do that before.
Or here's some new models. That'd be really cool to kind of be like, hey, here's some new models. Let me look at them. Talk about what you can do with it. Man, this hair is terrible. All right, so I guess we'll jump into community makes, or do you want to take some comments?
Mr. Certainly is looking forward to the 16-inch. Yes.
Yeah, the MacBook 16-inch.
Yeah, that's the only gripe. I need more
small
ports.
Screen.
Well, that too.
And more
small
ports.
screen, more ports.
Do you really have one port?
It's just on one side. There's two,
But
but I have a hub that attaches.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's community makes.
All right, every Tuesday we've 3D print a design from the community. This week, Lady Loki's, or really Sylvie's tiara. This is from the hit series. Is it a hit series?
I think so.
From the TV show on Disney Plus, Loki.
Don't spoil it. We haven't watched it yet. We have to watch on Thursdays because we're doing the show and meetings all Wednesday, all day Wednesday.
But this is a fun design. It is found on Thingiverse, and it's by Thingiverse user Fanati.
Oh wow, I didn't realize there was different versions of it.
Maybe the person updated it. But I when this was printing, I could have sworn that it failed, but that's just the way Pedro oriented it. It really looks like the print failed.
I thought it had failed too.
And you're looking at it and you're like, wait a minute, it didn't fail. This is what it looks like.
I was like, oh man, the
like
horn
the placement.
fell.
So there's some support material going on here. There's a lot of retraction going on in the time lapse. You might know it. Our time lapses just tend to have a lot of string.
Yeah.
It's the nature of what it's doing.
You're doing a long exposure on a DSLR camera. We're not shooting with a webcam, so I have to use a long exposure. I don't have like tons of light. I just have like 2 lights on it, so I want to capture the most light you can, and that is the best way to do it. Yeah. So the head is chilling like over to the right side of the printer for, I don't know, it's like 15,000 milliseconds or whatever it is.
It's quite hairy.
Yeah, so that's what happens.
But yeah.
Although I did do a lot of adjustments to the profile for the CR10 Pro, and I should release that because look how freaking beautiful this is. It's 150 microns. It's super smooth.
Don't press any.
It would be super easy to sand and then do some more post processing on this. But man, I'm so happy with how detailed this is, how smooth it is, and the horns. I really like the way this was designed.
Pop off.
Pop off. Yeah, they're all press fit. Sweet. And the tolerances on it is super press fitty.
Okay.
So they're just gonna fall off.
You got
and then we just have elastic on the back.
I like how big the holes are, the diameter of them, so you can fit just about anything in there. Like a lot of the necklace things have clasps, so that worked out really well.
Yeah. So we couldn't have just the Lady Loki one. Why can't I pronounce her name? Sylvie. Sylvie. Of course, we have the Vote for Me Loki, not the super long ones.
Yeah, you might want to just put it on your head.
Yeah. So this is the one that goes on your head, and Same
Put this one
designer. These look pretty good as well.
This is why my hair's messed up.
I know, mine too. Can I put it on with my glasses? Let's see. Oh, I almost have his hair.
You do. Holy crap.
So yeah, same thing with these.
Mexican Loki.
So
it came off.
the horns pop off as well, press fit. So that's
Sure
super
do.
cool for like going to a con, whatever. And man, look how smooth these horns are.
Yeah.
One of the tricks I did do was I sunk it into the bed just a little bit. Did that with
We could do
those
overhead.
horns as well,
There we go.
just to get a little bit better adhesion and not use so much support material. I didn't want to have it on here or up along where you're actually gonna have all of the parts visible. So it's down here. It's just sunk down, I believe, like 3 millimeters, just so that it has a very nice adhesion to the bed. And 150 microns, so nice and smooth for doing additional polishing and processing.
Yeah, the underside isn't too bad here. This was
Yeah, it's a
kind
little
of
bit.
like an extreme overhang, but it worked out really well because it's so curvy. You know, those are the hardest ones to do.
Yeah, so I wanted to, of course, print everything in this gold, but it kept
Look at this
failing
gold.
with this this gold. So
Yeah, what's the goal?
this is
Don't
the
recommend it?
silk everyone, and for whatever reason, it just kept clogging. So I had to switch over to the copper, and that worked pretty good.
But you were able to get these before the clog, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe don't recommend the filament. A lot of the silky filaments can be problematic in
Yeah.
the sense that
There's a thing.
maybe they clog or maybe they have under extrusion. Maybe it's their slice settings or temperature, but yeah. So real quick, while Pedro messes with that, let me show you that this is a design from the community. This is from Fanati on Thingiverse. They have the design here as a free download. There's some renders of it, but look at all these variants. You can see all the different variants of the tiara. There's the horn broken. There's the horn not broken, and I think that's it.
I'm waiting
makes
for the,
already.
waiting for the
So that's
dog-friendly. Oh, hey,
Yeah, there's some makes here.
there's some post-processing on that
Oh.
one, isn't there?
On this one, maybe. This one was posted up by Vasband. Yeah,
That's
a little
good.
bit of a dry brush, it looks like.
Mhm.
That's cool. Yeah, and it fits heads. It fits your head pretty good.
Yeah.
Scaled down to 82% to fit her head. Pedro, did you scale yours down?
I did not. This is
New
100%.
supports, then sanded it with paint acrylic. Cool. So yeah, you can check out the design. There's a link in the YouTube video, and also we'll throw it in Discord. But yeah, huge shout out to Fanati on Thingiverse.
Oh no, I've not
We have
been
quite a few
posting links.
designs here as well, so check those out. Sorry, sorry, Pedro. I'll do the link here. Don't copy. We need to change our copy paste stuff.
Ah,
Remember, like we're competing against copy paste because we're
yeah,
sharing
it's one of the
accounts.
funniest things. Somebody, I think it was Bruce, was mentioning the sidecar is super cool. One
That-
tip, don't log in as your same iTunes name on both computers, because now
Yeah, now I'm copying
everything I
paste.
copy
I
is over
overwrite,
on
yeah.
your iMac and vice
All right.
versa.
We're still sorting things out, but hey, our audio works, and then it stops working.
Yeah.
Let me jinx myself. All right, well, that was a super cool design.
What I really like
from
about this
Fanati.
is since we're in the halfway to Halloween now, this is like the perfect Halloween costume because it's just this.
Yeah, I
And
think
maybe a
it's pretty good.
suit and that's it.
Yeah,
and-
I'm just a variant.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. You're just gonna have like
Right.
a whole like slew of Lokis.
Uh-huh.
What was the thing? You throw a stick and you hit a Loki. Yeah, lots of Lokis.
All right,
Crocodiles would
continuing
be
on with the community makes. I
popular.
think there's a
Yes. There's more community makes. I'll pull some out here. Huge shout out to John Gallagher. He's working on making the Infinity Cube. He is working on getting the panels with the mirrored finish. This is a project we did a couple months, years ago. Really fun 3D printed frame with some NeoPixel strips embedded on the inside of the frame. And when you put double-sided mirror film on acrylic, you get this beautiful Infinity Cube. So this is, we did two kind of variants of it, and here's the one that I designed. So very cool. Thanks, John, for sharing your progress. And the cat is not impressed, but that's just
Cats
the cat.
are never
impressed. Yeah. Cool. Got another one here for the MacroPad. Shout out to Stuart. He posted
is
two
so
makes.
cool.
The first one,
Oh, I'm talking about his servo one.
oh, right, we
So
showed that
cool.
last week. Yeah, we showed it last week. Super cool. It was a nice, fun one. So Stuart printed it out on his Prusa i3 MK3, 0.2 layer height. and some Prusa PLA silver.
Nice.
Sweet, easy print, no issues. Yay. Woo-hoo. Sweet, so it all prints in place, and all of the tolerances should work just fine. And then Stuart printed in white, so here it is, a little bit nice right here. And printed on the Ultimaker 3, sweet.
Oh, awesome.
So it's really nice to see it work on the Prusa and the Ultimaker. They're vastly different, different nozzle diameters and different
I think it's like a 0.2
systems.
or 0.1 difference for the tolerances.
Sometimes
that I've
it is.
noticed.
It works. Yeah, it's probably a little bit tighter, right? On the, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So that's cool. Thanks, Stuart, for posting that up. And then the last community make we have is a little bit of a random slash. I saw these cookies at Disney Springs. They were for dogs, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." So I searched for it, and I found this, and I remembered it. Like, this is a remix of the Circuit pan roll from Flowlistic, Augustine. So he made these paw print cookie things as well, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." Cookie season is coming back. When is it not cookie season? So
I was gonna say, there's always
if
cookies.
you like paw prints and you're into paw prints like I am, you can make paw print cookies for humans, not just for dogs. So shout out for Flowlistic for posting this up as a remix a couple years ago. The fun things you can do with 3D printing, right? You can make custom anything now, and food. I know there's a food safety thing, a warning about that, but you know, single use. Don't reuse it, maybe. That's this week's Community Makes.
Yay.
Thanks for everybody for sharing your stuff with us. Back over to Discord.
Yeah, Riggs is saying, or Stuart is saying that Ultimaker 3 is tighter. Yeah, it's about 0.1, 0.2
it's
for the horizontal expansion.
A lot of times I feel like the tightness makes my things more loose.
It's always different, yeah. Like some of the pegs don't print out as strong on an Ultimaker that we've noticed, like the standoff pegs.
Yeah. Whoops. Take the horns off. Sorry.
I think that is about it for the show.
And that's the show. Thanks, everybody. Is that really everything? I think that's everything. Well, tonight we invite you to come on the show and tell, whether you have something or not. We'd love to see you. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. In the workshops, retro gear. We do lots of different flavors of show and telling. So come on by. Let Lamar and Phil know you're excited and you appreciate what they're doing. And then at 8 p.m., it's Ask an Engineer. Full hour of Lamar and Phil, open source hardware, new products, CircuitPython news, and more. Yeah, I never know what they're going to do. It's always a secret. Top secret as well. So shout out to Lamar and Phil for keeping it going. And shout out to you, everyone in the Discord chat room, and everybody placing orders. You're keeping us going. Hopefully we'll be able to do this. We'll probably be able to update this photo from like 3-4 years ago now. There's the team.
Soon.
Yeah, soon we'll be able to retake this photo. This is post-COVID. I mean, pre-COVID. So we haven't been able to get everybody in, and even today.
All right.
So we'll see you tonight on Asking on the show with Dell. Thanks everybody on Discord for hanging out.
I think that's going to do it for us.
Yeah, everybody's already saying goodness.
Yay. Lots of M1 discussion, so definitely join the chat room for that. Lots of people saying that, yeah, they notice a dramatic difference when going on to the M1.
All right, well, there we are. I don't know what else to say. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time, but until then,
don't forget to make a great day.
Make a great day.
See you later.
Bye, folks. Ooh.